A man was attacked by a shark at the very same beach where he'd been attacked once before, and the details of this horrifying story are almost unreal. How could fate throw him into the same nightmare twice? It's one of those stories that makes you wonder, just how much luck does one guy need to survive? Or Cole Taschman getting bitten by a shark wasn't exactly new territory. 12 years ago, while surfing at Bathtub Beach in Stuart, Florida, he narrowly escaped with a small bite from a shark. But this time, the stakes were much higher. Bathtub Beach isn't your typical surf spot. The area is famous for the bathtub effect, where waves break and create a calm, shallow pool at low tide. It also has the unique benefit of reducing erosion. But for Cole and his family, the beach holds a much deeper connection. It's the place where Cole got his first shark bite as a teenager, leaving him with a scar on his hand, a reminder of the infamous shark pit. On October 25th, Cole and his friends, Hunter Rowland and Zach Bucolo, along with his fiancée, Anna Pisi, headed to Bathtub Beach to remember a recently lost friend. After a quiet prayer, Cole paddled out into the water, heading straight for the shark pit. He knew the risks, but he wasn't expecting what would happen next. "I kind of paddled down into the shark pit and had a moment, and I was just sitting there," he later recalled. His fiancée Anna was filming the moment from the beach house, capturing the peaceful scene as Cole floated far from the shore. But the calm would soon be shattered. Out of nowhere, Cole felt the jaws of a shark clamp down on his feet. He immediately recognized the force of the bite as being from a large predator, likely a bull or tiger shark, both notorious for their aggression. "I got bit by a shark," he yelled, his voice tinged with panic. "I need to get out of the water." Anna, hearing the urgency in his voice, rushed downstairs in a panic. "I grabbed a towel and ran outside," she recalled. "I had no idea where he was bitten, and when I saw him, the blood was everywhere." Cole struggled to paddle back to shore, the shark's bite leaving deep wounds on his feet. His friends didn't hesitate. Using the leashes from his surfboard, they fashioned a tourniquet around his thighs to try and stop the bleeding. It was a race against time, but they didn't want to wait for an ambulance. Instead, they quickly decided to drive him to the nearest hospital. As they sped through the streets, Cole faded in and out of consciousness. His friends splashed water on his face and urged him to stay awake. "I saw complete whiteness," Cole later said. "I was passing out. I can't stay awake." Despite the odds, they managed to make it to Cleveland Clinic Martin North Hospital and then transferred him to St. Mary's Medical Center in West Palm Beach. Dr. Robert Borrego and Dr. Ibrahim Jabbour were waiting for Cole. After 2 surgeries and 93 stitches, Cole's recovery began. He had suffered severed tendons, deep tissue wounds, and almost lost all the skin on his feet. Dr. Borrego, an expert in shark attack recovery, told Cole it could take up to 6 months for him to fully recover. But Cole wasn't about to let this stop him. "The difference between this bite and my first one is like night and day," Cole said. "It's like the difference between a high school athlete and an Olympic athlete." Despite the traumatic injury, he wasn't deterred. "I'll be back out there," he promised. In the midst of the pain and chaos, Cole found comfort in something deeper. He believes his late friend, the one they had come to honor that day, was looking out for him. "I didn't lose any toes," he said. "He was watching over me. But he also had a message. Don't surf in that area anymore." His mother's reaction was more than understandable. She was mortified by the attack and would prefer Cole never surf there again. But Cole had a different perspective. "I can't wait to surf there again," he said. His love for the ocean and the thrill of the waves was too strong to keep him away. Growing up in the waters of Bathtub Beach, Cole had always known the dangers of the shark-infested waters. As a competitive surfer and fishing captain, he had seen his share of shark bites. Every one of the boys has been bit, he admitted, not seeing it as something out of the ordinary. But he made it clear, this spot is not for beginners. If you're a novice, we don't want you there, Cole warned. You're putting yourself in danger. His advice for surfers looking to avoid shark encounters is simple. Surf beaches. Don't surf reefs. After the shocking shark attack, Taschman knew he had to clear up a major misconception about sharks. People have all sorts of crazy ideas, he said, shaking his head. They don't come back for seconds. He stressed that sharks aren't the mindless killing machines some make them out to be. Instead, they're opportunistic feeders, more likely to scavenge than to go on a hunting spree. I probably look like some kind of dying fish out there on my board, he explained, adding that he wasn't exactly on top of his game when it happened. It's wild to think that this wasn't even Taschman's first run-in with a shark. When he was just 16, he was bitten by a 4-foot blacktip reef shark pup at the very same beach. The bite required 12 stitches and left a scar that still serves as a reminder of how unpredictable the ocean can be. But when Taschman compared that experience to the attack he'd just survived, he had a different perspective. That was nothing compared to this, Taschman said, his voice steady but with a grin. It's like comparing a high school athlete to an Olympic athlete. Despite the horror of what happened, Taschman isn't ready to give up surfing anytime soon. As a passionate surfer and local fishing charter captain, he's been around the ocean long enough to know that this won't keep him out of the water for good. I'll definitely be back out there, he said with a laugh. This beach? Maybe not, but I'll be surfing again. He's not about to let a shark scare him away from doing what he loves. The community, deeply shaken by what happened, has rallied together in support. They've organized fundraisers and events to help cover Taschman's medical expenses, as well as his lost income, especially since he doesn't have insurance. The local surf shops have jumped in with fishing charter and surfboard raffles, all aimed at helping Taschman get back on his feet. Taschman's girlfriend also launched a GoFundMe page to help with his recovery and make sure he can continue sharing his love for the ocean with others. The support has been overwhelming, and it's clear that Taschman's connection to his community runs deep. Meanwhile, his friend Cole, a fellow surfer, has a different attitude about the risks that come with their sport. He lives for the thrill, and nothing, not even the threat of a shark attack, is going to keep him from the waves. I wouldn't care if I lost my arm. I'm not leaving the water, Cole joked, glancing at his mom in the room. Sorry, Mum. Chill out. Everything's fine. In fact, the statistics are stacked against them. According to the Florida Museum, surfers account for 42% of shark attack victims. And Florida, where Cole lives, is a hotspot for shark activity, responsible for nearly a quarter of unprovoked shark bites worldwide, as noted in the museum's International Shark Attack File. It's a dangerous place to be for anyone who spends time in the ocean. But Cole, like many surfers, isn't deterred. He looks up to legends like Bethany Hamilton, the surfer who lost her arm to a shark attack in 2003, but came back stronger than ever. Despite her injury, Hamilton remains one of the top surfers in the world, inspiring athletes everywhere, especially women in sports. If you've been bitten, you're not going to quit, Cole said confidently. Look at Bethany. She's still out there, still killing it, and she inspires a lot of people, especially women athletes. Just days after Cole's attack, his close friend Pesey set up a GoFundMe page for his medical expenses, which has raised more than $8,000. Ohana Surf Shop, where Cole's been a member of the surf team since he was a kid, quickly launched a raffle fundraiser with prizes like a new Thrashcraft surfboard and a fishing trip with OH Boy Charters. Every penny raised goes directly toward Cole's medical care. "We've known Cole since he was 10, said Jordan Schwartz, the owner of Ohana Surf Shop. "We've watched him grow into a hard-working, respectable adult. He's always helping with the community, so it's only right we give back to him." For Cole, it's all about the family bond that comes with being part of the surf community. It's that connection that has made this experience feel a little less scary and a lot more supportive. "It's Ohana," he said, grinning widely. "That means family. No one gets left behind. It's a beautiful thing." Bathtub Beach in Stuart, Florida, may seem like the perfect place for a day of surfing or a family outing. But there's a dark side to this picturesque location: shark attacks. Over the years, this beach has been the site of several shark encounters, which have made it infamous despite its serene reputation. One of the most unforgettable cases occurred in October 2024, when Cole Taschman, now 28, suffered a shark bite at the same beach where he was attacked as a teenager. Imagine experiencing the same terror twice. This time, the shark was much larger. The attack required 2 surgeries and nearly 100 stitches, but Taschman survived and managed to return to shore with the help of his friends. This wasn't Bathtub Beach's first shark attack. In 2019, a swimmer was attacked while enjoying the water. Though the injuries were less severe, the attack was still alarming, underscoring the unpredictability of Florida's coastal waters. The shark, believed to be a smaller species like a blacktip or spinner shark, bit the victim's leg, but fortunately did not cause life-threatening harm. So, what is it about Bathtub Beach that seems to attract sharks? Experts suggest it's the combination of shallow waters and abundant marine life, which draw in sharks looking for food. Species like bull sharks are particularly attracted to these areas. Their presence in these shallow waters, especially near the St. Lucie Inlet, is part of why Bathtub Beach has seen a few dangerous encounters. These sharks are known for coming closer to shore than other species, and their aggressive feeding behavior can lead to mistaken bites on surfers or swimmers. However, despite these rare attacks, Bathtub Beach is still a popular destination. It's important to remember that shark attacks are extremely rare compared to the millions of people who visit Florida's beaches each year. Statistically, Florida has more shark attacks than any other state, but the risk of being bitten is still incredibly low. Shark experts advise taking basic precautions, like avoiding swimming at dawn or dusk, and staying away from areas with large schools of fish or seals, to reduce the already small chances of an encounter. For those like Taschman, the lure of the ocean is hard to resist. Despite surviving 2 attacks, he plans to return to surfing once he has fully recovered. Even shark attacks can't keep a true surfer away from the waves. Bathtub Beach remains a beautiful, albeit unpredictable spot for those who respect the ocean's power and know how to stay safe. Sharks are often portrayed as man-eating predators, but the reality is far less dramatic. In fact, sharks don't usually attack humans because they're hungry for us. They just make a mistake. Picture this. A shark sees a surfer floating on a board and thinks it's a seal. When the shark bites, it quickly realizes the error and releases the person, often without causing serious harm. Sharks are actually more interested in eating creatures like seals, which are higher in fat and much more nutritious for them. Sharks are curious creatures, and sometimes they bite because they're exploring. They use their mouths to feel objects in the water, This can lead to accidental bites if a human looks like something a shark would typically prey on. But that doesn't mean sharks want to make a meal out of us. It's more like a shark doing a little taste test to see if something's worth eating. When they realize we're not what they're looking for, they often spit us out and swim away. But here's the kicker. Sometimes humans unwittingly provoke sharks. Things like splashing around in the water, wearing shiny jewelry, or even swimming in areas with a lot of fish can attract sharks. Think of it like this. When you throw a party and someone shows up uninvited, things can get awkward. Surfers, in particular, can find themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time because they often ride the waves near sandbars or drop-offs, which are prime hunting grounds for sharks. So, when is the peak time for shark attacks? It happens most often in the warmer months, especially during summer, when more people are in the water. The ocean isn't just crowded with humans. Sharks are also more active and closer to shore during this time. Add to that the fact that sharks are more active at dawn and dusk, and it makes sense why these are the times when most attacks occur. However, don't panic. Shark attacks are still extremely rare. Statistically, you're far more likely to win the lottery than to be bitten by a shark. Despite what we see in movies, sharks aren't lurking around every corner, ready to strike. The number of attacks worldwide is around 60 to 65 per year. To stay safe, experts recommend avoiding murky water, swimming in groups, and being cautious during the early morning or late afternoon hours. If you keep these tips in mind, you're much more likely to have a safe and enjoyable time in the ocean. Cole Taschman's encounter with a shark could have easily been a nightmare. After surviving a shark attack as a teenager, he probably thought he was done with the ocean's darker side. But then, a decade later, the unthinkable happened again. This time, a much larger shark, likely a bull or tiger shark, bit into his foot. It's almost as if the ocean had a memory of its own, bringing Cole back to face the fear he'd survived. But what's truly remarkable about Cole's story isn't just the attack, it's his resilience. Despite the terrifying bite, which left him severely injured and needing multiple surgeries, Cole's spirit remained unbroken. You might think one shark attack would be enough to send anyone running from the water, but not Cole. He's determined to get back to surfing once he recovers, proving that strength doesn't just come from physical healing, it comes from mental toughness too. The story also serves as a reminder of how unpredictable shark encounters can be. While rare, shark attacks still happen, especially in areas like Bathtub Beach, where shallow waters and feeding grounds increase the chance of interaction. But here's the thing. Shark attacks are still far from the norm. With millions of people visiting the ocean every year, the chances of a dangerous encounter are small. And yet, Cole's journey proves that even in the face of fear, we can choose to keep going, just with a bit more caution and respect for nature. Cole's story is a powerful reminder that the ocean can be both beautiful and unpredictable. After 2 shark attacks, he's not giving up on surfing. He's determined to get back out there. But what about you? Would you still brave the waves after such a close call? Or would you steer clear of the water? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories. Thanks for watching.